Darcy Lactivate reporting live here with Android Authority from CES 2017, and I have the pleasure today of speaking with Mr. Finbarr Moynihan, who's General Manager of Sales for MediaTek.
Morning.
Thank you very much, sir.
Good to see you.
And how's your CES going?
So far so good, yeah. It's day 3, so we're in the middle of it, I guess. But it's been a busy couple of days so far.
And it's been a busy couple of quarters for MediaTek.
Yes, it has. Yes,
So
it has.
let's just talk about how MediaTek's doing. How is the company?
So it was a pretty good year for us in 2016. We saw very good revenue growth. I think the revenue is up over about 30% this year on year. And there's really kind of two things driving that for us. One is we've seen a lot of growth in smartphones. So even though the overall industry, I think people have sort of started talking that there's not that much overall growth in the industry. Actually, what we've seen is quite significant year-over-year unit growth in smartphones. So that's been a big driver of our market share and a big driver of revenue. Actually, the other part of the business, which is also kind of important for CES, is the home business for MediaTek, and that's also seen some strength in TV, set-top box, and some of those products. Yeah,
absolutely. So, I mean, MediaTek's technology, Taiwanese-based company.
Yep.
I mean, the cool thing about all these sort of ARM IP licensors, essentially, is that there's so much diversity within the marketplace.
Sure.
MediaTek kind of took a special place because, I mean, Qualcomm has always kind of vied for, arguably the highest end, and they also have a strong mid-range portfolio. Then we have Exynos.
Yep.
But MediaTek is really, in my opinion, like their technology has graduated and improved so consistently, quarter over quarter, year over year. How would you define the brand right now? I used the words before, like sort of budget premium.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of one way to describe it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, but I think you kind of hit it on the head there at the start of the discussion. I mean, I think MediaTek has always taken a kind of a very holistic, systematic approach to all of the markets we go into. So, one of the things I joke about MediaTek is we're a software and systems company hiding as a hardware company, because ultimately what we sell are the chips, right? But most of our engineering headcount, most of our R&D effort and money probably goes into software system solutions, right? So we take a very systematic approach to TVs, set-top boxes, tablets, smartphones. And we really do try to build what some people refer to as the turnkey or that complete system solution. But we think that gives us better insight into the actual end application, the end user application. And then, generation after generation, we can do better integration, better optimization, really trying to figure out what are the user experiences that matter and put more focus on those, right?
Yes.
Then what we also focus on, though, is delivering it as a reference design to our customers. Because at the end of the day, we don't think it makes sense for one reference design to go into every single phone from every single brand, right? We still want to allow enough flexibility for each brand to differentiate. So, many brands may take the same reference design from us, but some of them may focus on the camera, others may focus on the display, some may focus on the battery life, some may focus on multiple aspects, but they all want to be able to leverage that common platform that we deliver. So that's where I think the value of MediaTek solutions come in.
I mean, I just love listening to the way you talk. It's very interesting. I mean, because you're a salesperson,
Yep.
And so you're dealing with these large corporate customers who are looking for highly customized solutions.
Yep.
And the diversity of the offerings that MediaTek has is such that you can pretty much tailor whatever they need.
Yeah. And our customers base, they run, as you said, exactly from the tier 1 customers. So in the home and tablet space, Amazon has been a good customer for many years.
Absolutely.
So obviously they have a very unique software solution, a very unique, so what we support them with is very different maybe than what we might support a different type of customer with.
Exactly, yeah. So just talking about the actual technology itself, looking at the Helio X30, talking about 8 gigs of RAM, potential, and deca-core, 10-core,
Yeah. So the Helio line is obviously something we focused on for the last couple of years, and I think that, back to your earlier comment, that's also been part of MediaTek's deliberate strategy to, move up tier into sort of slightly higher tier products, and we've had 2 families, the Helio X family and the Helio Pea family.
Okay.
X is for extreme performance, so that's where you'll see the latest and greatest technologies, right? So that's where we introduced deca-core. That's where we moved into new process technologies. And then we also have the P family, and the P family is positioned just below the X.
Okay.
It probably isn't as high performance. It's more about a balanced high performance and power consumption. So we're really trying to deliver that combination experience. But both have been very successful for us. I mean, we've seen we've seen over the last 2 years, probably from not being in those segments, to probably approaching, 20% of our volume is now Helio products.
Oh wow, substantial.
Yeah, and some of that I think has coincided with the growth and success of many of the Chinese OEMs, who have been very good customers of MediaTeks for many years, but they've obviously had a lot of success domestically in China. But now we start to see many of those brands really starting to come out into the global market, and they tend to focus on slightly higher tier 4G smartphones, which is I think where a lot of that Helio value proposition really makes sense.
Absolutely,
the good performance at reasonably affordable prices.
Bang for buck.
Exactly.
And that's what consumers want right now, honestly, And we're seeing, the US smartphone market contracting.
Yep.
I mean, simply because the phones that have been released over the last 18 months, frankly, are all so good.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And even phones, that were sort of considered to be flagships.
Yeah.
My point is that I really believe that consumers are looking for exceptional value.
Exactly.
Especially global consumers,
Yeah, and there's a few trends that I think we see. I mean, one, yes, I think the very interesting thing about the smartphone market these days is that the overall global growth has slowed. We all know that. We look at the analyst reports.
It's easy.
But if you unpack that a little bit and you look in different regions, I mean, India is probably going to grow by tens of percentage growth points.
It will be
of
double
smartphones
digit
this
for
year.
a while.
China
APAC.
still has quite healthy growth last year. Other tiers are also, the premium segment I think has probably flattened out, and that's probably the effect you see most in the US market. But, tiers below that are quite healthy as you see consumers looking for value, like you said. And, one of the trends we see in the US market is a move towards more unlocked phones and people going online to Amazon.com or going into their retail store and looking for the best phone they can buy for their particular need.
$250.
Exactly, right? And that's kind of a trend we see will happen. Plus, I think we also now start to see China has moved into very much a replacement market, so people are upgrading their phones, looking for better features, more memory, more camera, better display. Even in markets like India, where you still have a large number of consumers really getting their first smartphone and that first data experience, you still also have a large number of people who are also trading up in those markets. So I think we'll see a kind of a shift to the middle range of the market on a global basis, and we think that's very much a sweet spot of where we want to be.
And I have to applaud you guys because a company like MediaTek, they're putting pressure from all sides on legacy incumbents, who can remain nameless. But no, I mean, competition is good for the market.
Competition is always good.
Consumers, right?
Yeah, competition is good. It's good for the consumers. We think if we do our job well, what we do is we enable a platform and a technology that frankly enables our customers, the phone makers, to be successful and ultimately delights the consumers. Our customers win, we win, the consumer wins.
Well, I mean, and with that, I think we can almost call it a wrap.
Very good. Well, really appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Pleasure to talk to you today,
Thanks for the time.
Finbarr. Guys, Andrew Authority reporting live here from CES 2017 with MediaTek. Signing off.